Bathing suit season. Oh, bathing suit season. It feels like every woman I talk to, especially every young woman, is suffering during bathing suit season, because bathing suit season is when body insecurities sprout. They're in full bloom. Like in the winter, especially during the pandemic, everything was hidden, right? You could be under layers and layers and layers, and you didn't really have to spend so much time looking at yourself except when you wanted to, right? But now it's all out there, and it's all going to be out there for other people to see. And you're freaking out because whatever you did to get ready for bathing suit season, you are probably not ready, right? That's why I'm seeing this crop of social media about bathing suits to solve this problem, right? If you have a small bust, get this. If you got big old hunkers, do this. If you have, a full body, do this. If you're skinny, do this. And they're all designed to correct, I love this, to correct your imperfections. I mean, really? What woman in her 20s wouldn't feel bad about her body when there's social media? I've read that y'all are consuming up to 7.5 hours a day of social media. Yowza. And if, let's say, just a percentage of that, let's just say there's an hour a day of Insta, right? Or TikTok, less on YouTube, I think, saying, oh, do that. You got to do something about your body. That's going to get to you. So here is my promise to you. If you stay all the way through this video, I'm going to share every granny truth I know, because what I know about you is when you are my age, you're going to look at photographs of yourself now in your 20s and say, oh, how did I not see how beautiful I was? How did I miss that? And I know that because I've looked at photos of myself in my late teens and early 20s when I thought I was like the ugliest woman who ever got birthed by another woman. And I think, wow, that really sucks that I was so critical of my appearance, and I was fine. I was fine. So I'm going to try and be your granny and dust off some of that that's floated in and has landed in your head, so you can enjoy the fact that you are in your 20s. You are definitionally radiantly beautiful. So I want to help you find that and hold on to it for just a minute. I know it's too much to ask for you to hold on to it forever. If this video lifts you up, watch it right before you put on your bathing suit for the first time. Okay? All right. Here we go. Granny truth number 1. Do not stress about being stressed. So you're going to stress about everything you see that you don't like, right? That is all you're going to see, whether you're looking in a selfie or you're looking in a mirror. I use myself as an example because it's a way for you to find yourself. All I could see was that I had fat thighs. Now, in my mind, I was stressing about it because I thought I had thighs as wrinkled and gigantic as an elephant. I mean, I thought I was ginormous, and I'd put on a bathing suit and I'd think, oh, I have the biggest, wrinkliest, most horrible thighs in the world. And I was stressing about it. Then I was stressing about being stressed. So let's start with the first part, which is, can you stop stressing about your insecurity? I mean, it sounds kind of dumb, but you've got an insecurity, and then on top of it, you're layering stress. So that's like a bad mental health cream pie. Or underneath, you've got the insecurity and you're smearing stress on top of it. So we have talked about stress techniques. I know you know what to do. You're feeling insecure. All you can see is whatever you don't like. Take a moment to breathe. Try some of the other things we've talked about. Put your stress in a ball. Lift it up. Let it drop. See if you can lose the stress and just keep the insecurity, but don't make it worse. Don't compound it. It's like the opposite of compound interest. We love compound interest because it makes us rich. We hate compound insecurity and stress because it makes us sick. No, don't do it. Okay, here is a second granny truth. You're kind of doomed to failure if you try to stop a thought. When I was a kid, there was a phrase, probably nobody says this anymore, but I'm going to teach it to you now in case your granny hasn't. phrase is, don't put beans up your nose. When you first hear it, you think, why would I put beans up my nose? But when you're a kid and somebody says, don't put beans up your nose, all you can think about is, oh, I want to put beans up my nose. So you learn with your first child, you learn early on not to say anything that's like, don't put beans up your nose, because that's all they can think about. My mind went to another personal example. My mom said, do not eat an Eskimo pie when you get home from school. Eskimo pies are rectangles and they're vanilla ice cream coated in dark chocolate and covered in silver foil. My mom said, do not. They're Eskimo pies in the freezer. Do not eat one. I'm not going to be here. You're going to come home from school. Don't do it. All I could think about was Eskimo pie, Eskimo pie, Eskimo pie. So I thought, oh, I'm not supposed to do this. And so I ate one. I ended up trying to hide the evidence by eating all 6. I ate the whole box, right? So you don't want to tell a kid or yourself, don't think that thought, because if you say don't think that thought, you're going to think it. The goal always is to try to work on another thought and make it louder. Can't stop a thought, but you can feed a different thought. And you try it often enough, and that'll help the thought that you don't want shut up a little bit. Tune it down. It's just like tuning down the volume. I'm going to give you a very practical example of thought switching. You're thinking, I hate my ex. I hate my whatever. I hate my abs. Instead of that, why don't you switch it to a question in your head of, am I doing the right thing for my health? Right? That's productive. If you're thinking, am I doing the right thing for my health? Either you are, in which case relax because you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, or you're not, in which case you can put together an action plan for what you want to do. Being cut doesn't necessarily mean you're doing the right thing for your health. It could mean that you're not hydrated, right? So that's what movie stars do when they want to look cut on a film. They don't drink water, and so then that's how they get that. And they also get that with makeup and all those other tricks that you've seen on social media. Instead, say to yourself, okay, am I doing the right thing for my health, both physical and mental? See if you can switch that thought. See if you can have an image of thought that doesn't serve me and thought that does serve me. Let me move my hands. This is the thought of, I'm ugly. My abs aren't there. You can't even see my abs. There's just smooth skin. And say, oh, I hear you, but I really want to get a megaphone and ramp up this thought, which is, am I doing the right thing for my health? And that's how we start practicing substitution. I ended up having a much healthier and sort of then incidentally better looking body when I worked on a health program that said nothing about weight loss and everything about, are you eating things you're supposed to be doing? Are you eating the rainbow? Does chocolate count in the rainbow? Turned out not so much. So the practical thought of what can I do is going to serve you better than what I hate about myself. Here's another granny truth. Oh, I paid big for this one. So I paid a lot of tuition on this one. So I hope that you get some School of Life credits from mine. Choose to hear loving voices. I remember a couple of guys in my 20s, and there was one guy who always looked at me sort of like not enough, right? Wasn't this enough? Wasn't pretty enough? Didn't meet his standards for thinness. I'm a curvy girl. I was a curvy girl in my 20s, right? I wasn't anything other than curvy, but that wasn't his taste. So he looked at me with a very critical eye, and I would get comments about, oh, do you really want to wear that? Oh, I guess I don't. There was another guy who was full of compliments. And he would say to me, oh, wow, I love it when you smile. You are so beautiful when you smile. He just affirmed me, right? Which one did I choose to keep? 2 boyfriends, decided to be exclusive with one. Who won? The one who said loving things to me, or the one who trashed me? I was in my 20s. I chose the one who trashed me. Don't do that. Don't do that. And I know you do. I know you do, because you're looking at him and you're thinking, oh, he's so good looking. He's so hot. Everybody wants him. He's got, that great body. Look at his arms. Oh my gosh. Of course he's looking at me thinking that I'm less than. I'm going to choose him. No, no, no. Choose the one who affirms you. Choose friends who affirm you. If your family doesn't affirm you, I just had a situation come up with a woman a little older than you. She's in her 30s. Her family just is not a good fit for her in terms of affirming. There's just no, oh, you did great. There was no, you look great. There was no, oh my gosh, you're so beautiful. Choose the loving voices. I didn't. Oh, that was a big mistake. See, if you can transfer some granny info into you and listen for the loving voice. voice. If you're not hearing affirmation and love, time to move, time to find somebody who's going to give you that. And that even includes social media. Right? Don't consume things that make you feel like you're not all that. I found myself watching some videos, really beautiful young woman who's all about her hair, big hair flipper, gorgeous hair. And the videos are all her walking down the street in high heels, swishing her cute butt, right? And then I watched a few of those and I thought, why am I watching those? Why am I even, right? All that can do is make me feel bad about myself. I was never going to look like that. She never says a word. We don't know anything about her. I don't know anything about her. That does not count as a living voice. Not in my feed. Go away. So here's the question to ask yourself about loving voices. If they don't make you feel beautiful, I don't care how beautiful they are. They're not for you. If they don't make you feel beautiful, not for you. It's like the chocolate you leave in the chocolate box. Maybe yummy for somebody else, not yummy for you. Because if they don't make you feel beautiful, if they don't make you happy, if they don't make you feel your best self, leave it in the box. Don't choose it. I did. That was bad and wrong. We are going to release a video soon on the imposter syndrome and feeling like a fraud. That connects to this. And so if this topic is reaching you, go ahead, subscribe, because then you'll get notified when that one comes out and we can go into a little more depth then, and it could be helpful for you. Just saying. All right, now we're back to 2 life lessons. The first one I learned from my mother. My mother, may she rest in peace, suffered from depression and a lot of insecurities. And those were in the days where you checked yourself out in a mirror and not in a camera. And I would go shopping with her for a big event, and she would put on a dress and look in the mirror and frown and like, because she didn't like the way she looked. And that meant she didn't like anything she put on. What I learned from that as a practical matter, if you frown when you're trying something on, it's going to look bad. I mean, guaranteed. So if you're frowning because you're unhappy with yourself, just fake a smile. If you're frowning because the outfit makes you sad, well, obviously get rid of it. But if everything you try on, you're frowning, that's about you. And you need to work on that. You need to, that's one where it's okay to fake it. When you fake a smile, just moving those muscles will release some endorphins. And so you'll like the outfit better. You'll like yourself better. Smile when you're trying on clothes and you'll feel better than my mom did. Actually, here's a mom story. I went with my mom to look for a dress for a special event, and she was frowning. She thought everything looked horrible. So we were giving up. She was near tears. We were in the elevator. The woman who owned the store was one of the best salespeople I've ever encountered. And she got in the elevator because she knew what was happening. And she said, wait. And she had a dress and she put it on my mother over her street clothes. She put the dress on her and she looked at me and I said, oh, Mommy, that looks so great. You look so pretty. You need to buy that dress. And she did. It was pretty. I wasn't lying. And the only way she was able to buy that dress is that she couldn't see herself in it. Now that's an extreme, right? That's depression. That's time to go find somebody to work with. But it tells you that looking at yourself can be a trigger, right? And that's why it's important that we talk about what makes looking at yourself hard. Okay, another granny tip. If you're trying things on and you are insecure about your body, if you're tugging at something, if you put it on and you're tugging, send it back. If you are tugging on everything, you probably need a different size. I got a dress. I ordered a dress online because I love the print. I put it on. It just wasn't big enough for the girls. My girls, I got a lot of girls on the balcony, right? So I'm trying to get it over the girls and I'm tugging and I'm tugging and I'm tugging. And that's when you're lying to yourself. And I say, oh, it's fine. I don't need to send it back. If you're tugging, you need to send it back or get somebody to alter it. Tugging always is going to make you feel worse about yourself, because then you're going to be out wearing this thing that's supposed to make you feel good. You're going to feel worse about your body if you tug. All tugging is an insult to your self-esteem. Oh, that was a hard one lesson. So if you're with your bestie and she's tugging, try to steer her into something where she's not. And here's the lesson that you may not know because it's kind of not in style now. But for all of us, lingerie is everything. What you have on underneath matters to what's going on the outside. Right? So, gosh, I'm trying to remember her name. Lupita. I'll remember her last name. She's gorgeous. She was an Avatar. She's all about that. She's very slender. She just had a chest plate made out of silver, molded to her body. This is one of the most beautiful things I ever saw. And it also counts as lingerie. So if you are insecure about your body, in your budget, leave room to upgrade your lingerie. Because if you've got something on pretty underneath, you're going to feel better outside. It's actually true if you're a guy, by the way. I end up ordering things for pop-ups, and I decided, time for an upgrade for pop-up. So I ordered him really loud boxer brief print, like these crazy colors. And they cheered him up. I mean, as soon as he started getting dressed, he felt better about himself. So think about the first layer, because the first layer can be a smile maker. So if you are feeling insecure about your body and you're in your 20s, congratulations, you're normal. You're on the bell curve. You're gonna. And what I hope is that some of these tips about taking control of your thoughts about your body are going to help you learn to love your body. The body that is doing everything it can to take care of you deserves you to take care of it. And that means loving it. Part of being healthy is this is a body you got. Love it as much as you can. Accept that you're going to feel insecure and see if you can change some of those thoughts to, you know what? Here are the things I can do. Doing the best I can is meaningful, right? That makes it easier for you to love yourself in an actionable way.